Hey guys,
This is Ruby,
and Nicole.
and you're listening to She's All That. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to She's All That. Another week, another episode. Today, we have my best friend, Brody, and we have his close friend, Ryan, here with us. And they're going to be answering some of your juicy questions.
All right.
Hello.
So that was Brody. Ryan, say hi.
Hey, I'm Ryan. It's nice to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Yay.
Well, thanks you guys for coming on. It's very helpful, and the last one was super fun. So we hope we get some good answers. These were some of our top questions. So the first question is, do you overthink like girls do, or are you guys more simple-minded?
I definitely think it depends on the situation. I am a strong overthinker most of the time. A lot of times when it comes especially to relationship material, I tend to overthink situations, especially like if we're texting back and forth and they take a little longer to send back a text. I start to freak out in my head thinking that, oh, this is the worst case scenario. This is it. They've ended up not wanting to talk to me ever again because of what I said. But
See, yeah, that's interesting because I'd say I'm the exact opposite. I personally, I believe in like a lot of, personal freedom and stuff, and I'm not like a very jealous person or anything, so I generally don't overthink things like texting and stuff, but I have before in my past, like of course, but
yeah, I would say that's like the first instinct to come to me is to think, oh no, this is the end. And then right after that, I'm like, nah, that's stupid. It's all
yeah,
fine.
of course, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
So would you say you overthink, Brody, more like maybe before you're dating someone than during the dating of someone?
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as I start to actually know who they are and what they're about, I definitely relax on my tendencies to overthink and to freak out about the smallest little things.
I think it's fair. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Interesting. That makes sense too, because you just don't know who they are. So you don't know what to
Exactly.
expect.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. Question number 2. Do you believe in the one?
Ryan, I'll let you answer this one first.
All right, so strictly from a numbers game, it's like, oh, there's so many people out there and stuff, but yeah, I think that once you find someone that you connect with in enough ways, it's easy to consider them like the one. And, I'd like to think that there's the one out there for me, like shared interest and shared experiences and stuff like that would be really cool to have. So I'm gonna say yes, I think.
Really? Okay. Broads.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
What?
I loved the
Yeah.
conviction in that
So much
answer.
conviction. This guy.
This is something I'm actually very confident in, is that yes, there is the one out there for you. The tough thing is though, is that I think that there's a lot of people that you can be extremely compatible with and have a very happy life with. But I do feel like there's just that one person out there that was like made for you.
Wow, you guys,
Wow.
this is shocking me. I'm
Brody,
just
I
really
love it.
surprised.
Love it.
I honestly, yeah, I would expect that you guys just don't at all. I
So-
don't
I
even
feel
think
like
I don't even believe
women-
in the one, but wow.
No, I feel like women tend to be more like, how do I like say this? Like fairy tale, like, oh,
Like a
there's just
hopeless
one-
romantic. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's one guy out there for me, and guys are like, well, statistically speaking, and
I
so
did start that
this
with
is-
a numbers thing. You're right.
I feel like that's normal, so that's why I'm kind of surprised by this. Like, I am
Yeah.
the same as Ruby. I actually don't. I love the idea. I really do, and I'm like, I guess I want to believe that, but part of me is like, I feel like that's being naive of me.
Mhm.
So this is so shocking. Wow.
So
Mhm.
Nicole, do you believe in the one then?
Ugh,
We've heard Ruby's take.
I don't know. I don't know if I do. I think that I do because I want to so bad. I don't know. I am a hopeless romantic, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of view it like you, Brody. I think that I can end up with quite a few people and it'd work out. Like there's not like one person for me. But I do think I'll end up with only one person, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
And
I
that
mean, that's,
I
person
would
will
hope so,
Yeah.
Ruby.
To expand on that a little further, though, I
So we're
don't.
not looking for a sister wife situation, is what you're saying?
No.
Or- I'm kidding.
Bros, I think you were wanting to say something.
Yeah, to expand on that a little further, I think that specific like line of thinking can cause you to kind of be like, oh, the grass is always greener, where it's like maybe this one isn't the one, and I'm wasting my time with this special person because it's not truly my one, and that's where it gets tricky. You gotta watch out because it could be the one that's meant for you right in front of you the whole time. But at the same time, I think you would know if you know. So.
Okay. Number 3, what is your biggest turnoff or turnoffs?
I'd be happy to go first. For me, it's
Yes.
I think for me, it's like a lack of ambition. Just generally, I think that's probably my biggest turnoff. I've dated girls in the past where we were like pretty compatible. We had a lot of fun together and stuff. But I was like, oh, I see myself as this career-driven person, and I want to like have these goals complete by like some age or whatever. And they just didn't seem to be there with me. So I think that was a big learning step for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Brody?
I think that the biggest turnoff for me is right away any sort of drug use, where if they are actively smoking cigarettes or doing any sort of hard drugs regularly.
I'm gonna immediately disagree with Brody's answer just so we're clear.
Yeah. So to give a little bit of background, I'm totally for people doing like whatever they want, but when it's the person for me, I've been sober all my life. I've never drank any alcohol, never smoked cigarettes, never done anything like that. And for me, I don't want a sober person, but I don't want somebody that takes drugs just all the time, whether it be alcohol or tobacco or marijuana, whatever it may be. That's something that I don't want in my life all the time.
Which that makes sense since that's not who you are and your personality. Kind of like just the same as if a girl does drink, she would probably want to be with someone who may drink as well to kind of be able to hang out and do things together that they both enjoy.
Exactly.
Makes sense, Brooks.
Why do you say you disagree with that, Ryan? I'm curious.
I mean, like, so I've dated girls that have, like smoked marijuana like every single day, whether it's like medicinally or like, just for fun, it's not that big of a deal to me. Like it's, I mean, I guess it's taxing in a certain way. Like if you don't like being around it, then certainly like, yeah, for Brody, like, no, you probably shouldn't date someone like that. But I don't think that makes like them a bad person or anything like that at all. That's kind of my only bit there. But.
Ryan, you are from Colorado, so no.
I'm not. I'm not from here. I'm actually pretty new here. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm totally just kidding.
You have a point, though. You have a great point. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, next question, you guys. Do guys like playing hard to get?
I'd say that. So for me, I don't ever like try to play hard to get. Like I'm not big into like the games and kind of thing. It just sometimes I'll just forget to text people back and stuff. So it might appear that I'm playing hard to get, and then they'll like double text me and things like that, and I'm just like, oh shoot, I'm stupid. I forgot to reply to that. But I don't think I ever like try to do that.
Ryan, when you say the double text, do you get annoyed if girls double text you or like triple text you or?
Me personally, no. I have like really bad, like I have like a really bad attention span, and so like I literally just forget to text people all the time.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, oh hey, cool, it's my friend, like so and so, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll text him back now. But
okay, gotcha. What about you, Broads?
So can I quickly clarify what double texting and triple texting is? Is that like
please do.
After like a half hour texting again to see if they got your text? Is that what that is?
Yeah, or like, maybe like I would say like maybe like a few hours later or something if
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't even think it necessarily
I don't think
clarifying that they got a text. I think it could just be like, hey, want to go get a drink? And then they don't respond. And then like an hour later, hey, what's up? I don't know. I don't do it.
Okay.
Obviously, this doesn't happen a lot to me, so I don't like. I mean, I know I'm not over here like texting people 10 times, so I don't know. But like,
Gotcha.
that's a terrible example. Yeah. Anyway,
But
answer, Brody.
yeah, back to the question of whether or not I like to play games. Definitely not. I'm especially when it comes to love. I think that that's a very serious topic, and I don't want to take that as something that is a game. I don't want to play around with love, and so I definitely, if I'm into you, you should know it for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. I do have like a quick question, but I had to kind of like explain something before I ask the question. So
Yeah.
the question makes sense. So a lot of the time people will say like, I don't know if it's like they give girls this advice, but they say like, oh, play hard to get. Like guys usually like it when they play hard, when you play hard to get, if that makes sense. I don't ever do that. Like if a guy messages me and I'm free, like I'll message back. Like I don't wait like 3-4 hours to respond to the guy just to play hard to get. But there are girls who do that. And I'm just kind of curious what you guys think about that. If you find it attractive if a girl tries to play hard to get.
I'm gonna say an immediate no. I like being really straightforward and honest in pretty much all my relationships, you know, like with girls and my friends and like whoever, you know. And so it's like if I have feelings towards someone, I like want to make that abundantly clear, and I like to know that back, you know, like if they're interested in me, it's like it's cool to know. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, does she like me? Does she not? Like whatever. Like
Oh my gosh, I love.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Ryan and I are definitely on the same page on this one.
Okay. Sweet.
Good to
Okay.
know.
Next question. If I start talking to a guy, do they automatically assume I am interested?
Well, what kind of talking are you doing?
Oh, well.
But we're just thinking getting to know you. I don't
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, these are questions submitted by the listeners. I don't know what kind of talking they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. We're just.
Because if you're going up to, you know, an employee at Target and saying where the dress is at.
all right, come on. Okay, so if a girl's okay, so I'm gonna say, yeah, it's kind of like contextual. So I guess it's like the kind of talking you're doing. I don't know, like if you're like, hey, like want to hang out, like I'm not automatically gonna assume you're interested. But if you're like, oh, hey, like do you want to come over on like a Friday night or something like that, and like, you know, have a bottle of wine or whatever, you know, it's like, yeah, then I'm gonna be like, okay, that kind of like is more indicative of that happening. But
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's, I definitely didn't, I was beating around the bush, but that's definitely what I was meaning. It's just the context of it. So it depends on how a girl comes up and talks to a guy. If it's like a consistent, small going up and talking to them because that's what they want to do, maybe the guy can get the repeated talking as taken as like a hint that they're interested in wanting to talk to you more and possibly opening up some sort of relationship or something like that. But if it's just, you know, friendly here and there talks, I wouldn't say that they immediately think that they're interested.
I'd actually say, so I was kind of briefly talking to a girl like relatively recently ago, and like she was like texting me every single day and stuff, you know. So I was kind of like, oh, you know, maybe she likes me in like that way, and like she just truly just wanted to be friends, you know. So she was texting me every day, which is like a normal like, oh, she might be into you kind of thing, and like, you know, she didn't mean it that way. So I think that's like completely fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you can just want to be friends with someone, you can just enjoy them in that way, you know.
absolutely. Yeah. And I think that knowing the person and what they're about helps out a lot with that. So
Yeah, that's true. Next question. What is the most attractive thing that a girl can do? I guess just take this
Ooh.
question as like whatever first
To
comes
get a
to
guy,
mind.
yeah, like
I guess, yeah.
okay. So for me, it's kind of similar. I'm going to echo back to one of my previous answers in that I just like honest straightforwardness, you know, That's probably one of my biggest things. And like humor's awesome. Like if you're super funny, like that's heck yeah, like let's go, you know? So
Mhm.
Mhm.
they're probably my two
Okay.
biggest things.
Brody?
I think my biggest thing would just be having the girl be genuinely herself.
Mm.
I don't like trying to decipher who this person is. I want to see them as their true self. And that to me is like very attractive, getting to know who they are as an individual. And also a really nice smile helps as well.
You know what's interesting? Our last man panel, we had two guys also, obviously, and and one of them, I'm pretty sure they said the same answer with like just being authentic and being themselves. But another one said the opposite of you, Ryan, because he was very particular. I remember being like so confused because I'm a pretty like straight up person, like, you know.
What?
And
Who likes games like that though? Like, I mean,
no, but
truly, like,
he like definitely was like, I don't like, you know, girls that are just too straight up and too like, you know, direct. He was
Assertive.
very yeah, I really didn't like the so I was like, wow,
he sounds a little
good thing
fragile.
you're not with me.
Not gonna
Yeah, I literally same here, Nicole. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, Ruby and I both have like such strong personalities. Anyways,
Like, well, I'm off the list for sure.
speaking
No
of that,
hope.
actually, speaking of that, Jose got engaged. The guy on our last
Woohoo!
man.
Hey,
Let's go.
congratulations,
Congrats,
Jose.
Jose. Let's
Congrats to Jose and Linnea. I was there taking pictures behind a bush. But yeah, anyways, okay. Interesting answers.
Okay, next question. Biggest pet peeve most girls do?
go.
Huh.
You got an answer, Brody? I gotta think on this one for a second here.
I'm super excited because I want to know if I do this.
I think, okay, so I think that there are some girls out there that in order to try to like get a guy and be attractive, they kind of like do that whole, oh, let me play dumb for the guy and let him be the funny smart one, and that really just irks me so much, because going back to the whole like wanting a girl to be authentic and genuine, it's like it's just the complete opposite of that. And I want like I want a smart, intelligent girl, and for them to act all. It's not goofy. It's just like straight up acting dumb, and that I just
like
don't.
dumb where they're actually not dumb. Like they're
Yeah,
just acting.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I hate that too. That's so annoying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's so middle school. Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, I think so okay, so this is kind of weird, but you know like when you're like trying to pick something to do or like a place to go or something, and they're like, I don't care. Like I don't care what
Oh.
we do. Drives me nuts. It's
Okay,
like
can I make that my answer?
yeah. I have so many opinions on things, and it's like I want to hear your opinions and like see if we like to do the same things, or like see if we can find a cool compromise and like go do stuff we both enjoyed. It's like I don't want to just drag you along to everything in my life that I like doing, you know?
Yeah,
So
you're the one making all the decisions and
Yeah, exactly. Like
doing
I've had,
all
yeah,
the plans and you putting in all the effort and stuff. That makes sense.
yeah, and I've had a couple like, you know, girls I've been talking to in the past couple of years that have it's been like that, you know? And it's like no more. I'm good.
So you know
Yeah.
what I'm taking away from this conversation so far is that, I mean, obviously you guys can't speak for every guy in this universe, but guys just like when girls are authentic, they're themselves, and they just speak their mind and just say like, oh, you want to go to Olive Garden? I don't like Olive Garden that much. It's overrated. Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
heck
instead
yeah.
of being like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Throughout this whole section with both Ryan and Nicole, both you talking, I've been nodding so aggressively, agreeing with everything that you guys have been saying.
Headbanging, absolutely
Yeah.
headbanging over there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I think we only have one more questions for you guys, but once, I mean, we still have quite a bit of time, so I still have a question actually that I had to
Yeah.
Yeah, of
course.
Cool.
Okay.
Whatever.
So if a girl is okay with sleeping with you during a relationship, but she wants to wait a while, there's no clarification on a while, does that bother you? And then there's a follow-up question after that. So answer that one first, and then I have another one.
Sure. I'm gonna say for me, yeah, it doesn't matter. I just like want to know, like if that makes sense. Like I just want to like make sure we're on the same page, so there's not like an expectation on either side that's not met. Because like if she doesn't want to take that step, and like let's say I'm ready to do that, it's like I just want to be aware of that, so I'm not like trying to make that happen or something like that, and like whatever. So
Yeah, having that open communication is so important, especially for something like sleeping with each other. Because that is a huge step to take for many people out there. For some, maybe not that huge, but I do believe that it is a huge step, and that you need to have open, honest communication about that. And if you're not ready, say no. And if this is the right person for you, they'll respect that no matter what,
yep,
or how long
absolutely.
it takes.
Amen.
Wow,
Amen,
you
Brody.
guys, what a great
Yeah.
answers. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What about, I guess you guys probably have like the same answer, but what about if they're waiting for marriage?
Okay, so personally, I wouldn't want to wait till marriage. So that's just me personally. But if they wanted to, I just don't think we're right for each other. Like, I think that's like a pretty big incompatibility. And I think that's something that, again, just needs to be acknowledged and like, hey, like, I don't want to do this until I'm married. And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I don't think we're right for each other in that regard. So,
So follow-up question really quick. Normally, okay, maybe I'm just like weird about this, but like when would you talk about that in a relationship? Because what if you're dating 3 months, 4 months, and then you bring it up? And then it's like, okay, or would you end a relationship over that after dating for like 3 or 4 months?
I mean, I guess it's just, it, I guess it matters on like how much you guys have like fallen for each other, like based on personality and like shared activities and that kind of thing. Because like if you're just really connecting in like every other aspect of the relationship, I think that isn't that big of a deal, I guess. So
Okay, Brody.
So, piggybacking off of what I said earlier, with that there is absolutely the one, and with Ryan saying that like for certain people, with that being such an important part, uh, maybe you don't want to wait that long, and if they are the one, they feel the same way, I think. But if your person is the one, then you two should agree on that. Uh, and if there is discrepancies, then I think that that may pull into question whether they are the one or not, and if it's worth it to you to stop chasing that one for you. Um, but when it comes to whether waiting for marriage or not is something worth waiting for, I think absolutely it is worth waiting for the one. And I'm getting a little lost right now with what I'm saying, but I do really think that if the person is worth it for you, then yeah, there's no sense in pushing that, or even if you want it, you should absolutely respect their wishes and do what they want to do.
yeah, for sure.
When do you guys think is an appropriate time to like bring that up though, without sounding awkward? Do you think it just depends, like if naturally it'll come up, or is there like,
So I think I have a really weird way of thinking about this, in that I try to get stuff like this out as soon as possible. Any sort of like deal breaker-esque material, I want to make sure to get out there and see how it fares, and make sure that just from the beginning we're as open and honest with each other as possible, because that's extremely big to me, and it sounds like with Ryan as well, it's just being open and honest with each other.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
see,
I think like for me, it's always come up like naturally, like that kind of thing. And so whether that's 3 dates or a month or whatever, it comes up like at some point, and to Brody's point, it's better to just like be honest with your feelings on things like religion and that and like whatever, so people know where you stand and they can like decide if they're right for you in that regard and stuff. So
And I would say, to expand on that further, is not to hold that back and fear that they won't like you because of it, but rather say it so that if they don't like you because of it, then you could just move on with your life.
Totally.
It obviously wasn't meant to be, if that's the case, if something pretty insignificant like that totally takes apart your relationship. You should just be able to move on and say, yeah, they weren't the one for me. I'm happy moving forward without them.
Yes, ladies, you are all that when you just decide just to move on and know that you can find someone who will.
I agree. I
Nicole,
love that
did you have
said
another?
that. Oh, sorry. No.
Did you have
I was
another
just like,
question?
yes. Okay, yes. I had one question, but I feel like this might be a stupid question. So
No.
I was talking to my friend today, and her friend has been dating her boyfriend for 2 years, and this guy is really wanting to propose and everything, but he's so gosh dang lazy about every step that it takes for a proposal, like talking to the parents. He's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, oh yeah, whatever. And then like getting the ring, super lazy about it. And he wants to marry her. That's the thing. Like he does. There's like no, it's nothing to do with her, my understanding of it at least. He's just so lazy about the steps of like to get to the proposal. Does that make sense? So maybe this is literally just his character and we can all just wrap it up and be like, oh, you're just a lazy guy. But I just like, to me, I feel like I hear stories like this a lot where like a guy has been dating a girl for like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, knows he wants to marry her, but is so gosh dang, like, it's weird to me. I don't get it. Like if you know
doesn't
what
make
you
it happen.
want, yeah, go make it happen. So like, what's the answer there?
Yeah, for me, it seems like he's not sure if he's like genuinely ready to take that step yet, whether that's like he's scared or like, maybe he's not 100% all in, but like for me, I feel like if I was ready to commit myself to someone like, for marriage or whatever, like I would be on top of it, like that's not something I would take lightly, like if I want you in my life, I'm going to keep you in my life kind of thing.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
okay.
great answer.
Brody?
I really like that as well. But also, I mean, I do think that there's a lot that goes into that. And I think that because that's such a commitment, it is just so nerve-wracking to go through those steps to be able to actually do it, even if you know it's the one. But if you've both talked about it, the girlfriend boyfriend saying like, yes, this definitely is something we want to do, and they're both being honest, then I do see it as some sort of, I don't know if issue is the right word, but just something to work through and get to the bottom of why that delay is happening. If it's something going on with him, like you were saying, Nicole, not being ready for it, or Ryan saying scared about it, or something like that. I think that it's at least worth talking through, saying like, hey, I love you no matter what, but we've talked about this and we want to do it. Is there something that's hanging you up on it?
Okay, so going back to that open communication, you know what, the more I'm just thinking about this, I'm realizing almost every girl I've ever known is always like, okay, like I've been painting my nails for 6 months now, like when are we getting engaged? Like I this is just now, like I'm thinking of every person I know, and this is like such a thing.
They do. They start to plan everything, like what they're going to wear and just like how they're going to react, stuff like that. And
it's like every anniversary, every this, every that, they're prepared. So anyways, okay.
So are they preparing themselves without talking about it?
No, they have. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like a lot of these people, I know that they've had that conversation. I just think the follow through is what's missing.
Gotcha.
So, okay.
So that I don't know what the answer is, honestly. I think that's a very personal thing that they have to work through.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe like what Ryan said, they're just really nervous and they're not 100% in it. And
yeah,
that might be the reason.
Well, also like on our last man panel, it came up that I think both guys had mentioned how they feel like there is more like pressure, like on guys to like, and that makes sense. I don't know, just there's more pressure anyway. So maybe that plays a role.
Yeah. And to all the ladies out there, If you want to go ahead and take that step of doing that super nerve-wracking thing of proposing, go for it. Don't. I would say don't wait on the guy if you don't want to. If you guys have talked about
Brody,
it,
no.
No,
Brody,
I'm
no?
sorry, Brody, but I
I know
am not
it's-
making that step. I
Yeah.
am bold, but you're getting on one
That's a
knee,
man's job.
pulling out
Sorry.
the ring and asking me.
I know it's definitely not traditional, and it probably, like, in the grand scheme of things, if you want to do things the right way, that probably isn't. But I mean, I think that especially in today's day and age, it's something that either party can do if they really want it to be done. But
With how
I know that that's a
society
hot take.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think about that? Having a girl propose?
so I am completely fine with proposing to the woman I want to marry, just first of all. But if she wants to go ahead and do it first, like I'm not gonna stop her. I'm just gonna say yes and it's gonna.
Ladies, you are all that if you want to propose. No.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are
like,
all that.
That's all you. Like claps to you. Like you got it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but that would never happen for me. That's
Yeah,
gonna be a no
same.
for me.
No.
Oh my
man.
word. Ruby, do you have any
Alrighty.
questions that have come up for you that you while we have two guys here or no?
No.
I have one more question. I'm sorry. This is
No.
Sure. No, let's
Ask
go.
it away.
Do you guys use dating apps and how do you feel about them?
Oh yeah. So
Oh yeah, okay.
they've been like a pretty big part of my life for a while, I guess. Like I dated a girl that I met like at a job that I had, and that was probably the only time I haven't talked to a girl off a dating app in like 5 years. So I don't love them. I don't love Tinder. I think Tinder kind of sucks for lack of better words. I think Hinge is pretty cool. Um, yeah. So I think it's a cool way to meet people that like, otherwise you might not run into like because they only like frequent certain places and work in certain areas and stuff. So I think it's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. I definitely would prefer to meet somebody in person, without a doubt. That's just like overall such a better environment to be meeting somebody that you
Mhm.
want to possibly be in a relationship with. But especially during quarantine, I think it's a pretty good option to venture out into online dating and getting into different apps. I'm not against it at all. And it's just Ryan's right that there are a lot of apps out there that aren't good for wanting a relationship. And I think that you just have to know what you want out of the apps that you're using.
Sure.
Hmm. Yeah, Ruby and I have a podcast episode about what quarantine made us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody, I would not have gotten a dating app if it weren't for quarantine, but quarantine
Well, you only
happened.
got
and-
it for 2 hours, so can you really count it?
Okay.
I ran out of people.
Oh
like,
geez.
There were many people in her area.
Yeah, everybody's married. Ladies, one thing I will say, a cool feature a friend told me about on Hinge is I moved the location in all these different places around the world, and it's so cool. You kind of like get to see. Yeah, you should do it. I mean, obviously, I'm not like I'm talking to people in Texas, Florida. No. But
Wait,
it's just kinda,
wait,
like fun.
what?
It's cool.
What location? Like, is there's
Yeah,
like a
it's
map?
all in the settings, ladies. You can scroll into neighborhoods of different like places around the world. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I
Oh
had no
my
idea that
goodness.
existed, but yeah.
Scroll to all the rich neighborhoods and
Yeah,
just pick out
exactly. That's
those.
exactly what I've been doing. I'm just kidding.
Really smart. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're really, really smart.
So anyways, it's a great little tip if you're running out of options in your area, like I am.
Yes.
If it says no more people near you. Okay.
And if you're willing to do long distance, go for
Oh
it.
yeah. Or if you're just willing to have fun, like I'm not
Yeah.
taking it seriously. But. Okay, any
Alrighty.
advice that you have for the ladies before we go?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just going to be the kind of, same major talking points we had. Just like be yourself, be authentic. Like I want to get to know the real you. I want to have fun with you and know what you like to do and what makes you happy, and I want to see if that's for me as well. So, yeah.
And I would say be bold. Go out there,
Thank you.
Nice.
guys.
do
Good
your
job.
thing. Don't worry about the consequence. Well, okay, hold on. Let me be careful. For certain things like going and talking to a guy or something like that, don't worry about, them not liking you because you're going and talking to them. Just go for it. Be bold, go out there, shoot your shot.
Yep. Good words. Yep.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's fine.
Yeah, our big takeaway that we're gonna try out once more things open is, do you have a girlfriend? And then they'll be like, no, hopefully. And then you'll be like, do you want one?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we got that
What
one
a
from
pickup
Kyle.
line. Yeah.
Like,
Or
consider me
refer
picked
back.
up. If I hear that at a bar, consider me picked up. So
Oh boy. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. That was super fun.
yeah,
Thank
thanks for
you so
having
much
us.
for having us.
Of course. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your week and make sure you follow us on Instagram at She's All That Pod.
Bye.